Supervisor Richard Forster with your Board of Supervisors meeting report from August 26, Tuesday, 2014. Starting off the meeting today, we had Kimberly Pruitt in from Congressman Tom McClintock's office. Kimberly is very good at meeting with people and discussing federal issues, whether it be an issue I had with a constituent who had benefits that were due and issues receiving those, or any other issues she is willing to discuss with you. Whether you want to talk about the president or anything else, she's there. So she will forward those comments either on to the congressman, or she will endeavor to take care of those. Also had Bailey LeBanco in, the reigning Miss Amador, thanking the board for their support of the pageant and the fair. And John Heisenbuttel thanking the board for their support of SB 1199, the opposition to that bill. That we defeated it this year. It'll be back around the corner no matter what they say. Yes, it does give them the opportunity, the proponents of a project does give them the opportunity to pursue that project outside of that 37-mile stretch that they are pursuing designation for. What it doesn't do is give a guarantee, because we know that certain groups will oppose based on language that they have in their own website. So do your research on that. Also do your research on the medical marijuana issue. This is an issue that's come back before us. In 2011, the Board of Supervisors passed and adopted regulations and standards for the outdoor cultivation of medical marijuana. We have limits on the amount of plants that can be grown, but there is a facility that went out of business upcountry. This is in between Pine Grove and Pioneer. The old logging plant there, which then became a tomato factory, indoor tomato cultivation. There's interest there in putting a marijuana facility there, marijuana growing facility. We have very large concerns about that, because when you're growing that number of plants, it will attract people there, and those people may not necessarily be the kind of people you want to attract. The instances we've had in our county are attempted murders, assaults, the people that have gone in and broken into a house and assaulted a person and then stolen all of their marijuana plants. So, we don't need that kind of stuff in the county, and something like this would in general degrade the environment in that area. We feel it would generate, which, if you want to know what that means, is really bad smells. When marijuana is starting to bloom, it has a skunk smell that it emits, very strong smell, and we've received complaints on that in the past from people that are living near legal grows. It would create, obviously, an attractive nuisance to those people that want to come in and try and rob the facility, as well as it would affect those surrounding land uses. Anybody that lives around a residential area does not want a facility like that right close to them, and it would be right off Highway 88, but it doesn't matter where it is in the county. It's going to have major health and safety concerns. Our sheriff is concerned about it. Our district attorney is concerned about it. It has the ability, as according to DA Reby, of creating that collective cooperative where many growers can come in under our ordinance and grow together. They would probably have some trouble from us because there are limitations, but with the laws in California the way they are, you never know if people are going to vote for legalization this fall on the ballot too. But also our DA said every 90 days indoor has the ability to have a new growing season, so potentially 4 growing seasons a year. One of our speakers, Robert Allen, said indoors it's less able to grow, so possibly 3 growing seasons. We don't know that. I can't tell you. It is illegal to grow for a profit in California, but people can be reimbursed for their expenses. Well, people are getting around that now by taking advantage of loose language in the law. But our sheriff and our DA said every county in this office will be involved, from code enforcement to DA to law enforcement. It goes on and on and on. Public health department, social services. So there would be a gross impact, according to Todd Reby, our DA. The board did pass an emergency ordinance on this, and that emergency ordinance will give us time to process and adopt new standards and regulations for the indoor cultivation. That is the main thing we're trying to change, so that there are limits on the amount of marijuana that can be grown indoor, and deal with a loophole in our own ordinance. Next up on our agenda, we had discussion and action, and this was fairly quick after questioning on refinancing of the COPS, or these are bonds that go out, certificates of participation, bonds that go out and finance our buildings of our, in this case, our county administration center. There is potential now to refinance that and save about $35,000 per year. Initial cost would be about $15,000, so good savings there. Discussion and direction, our CAO was to proceed in hiring a financial advisor. We had also quick discussion on California Department of Public Health emergency preparedness agreements. This is through our Public Health Department, and looking at 3 grants: Public Health Emergency Preparedness for over $120,000, Hospital Preparedness Program almost $122,000, and Pandemic Influenza Plans about $61,000. But there is concern from the board because we want to make sure this money is used correctly. We want to make sure that Public Health Department is following all the rules, and in this case it looked like everything was copacetic, so they will move forward with those grants. We had a very short discussion about our responses to the grand jury, and this involves basically 2 areas. One is our Health and Human Services building that was questioned strongly in the in the grand jury report. The other were the findings on the Health Department, Public Health Department. So Director of Health and Human Services, Jim Foley, was present along with his staff, but that will be discussed at our next meeting more in depth. Had a couple of public hearings and gave approval on the Kennedy Mine project to have the board sign off and be the sponsoring agency on the Pine Grove cruise coming in. If you need more information on our board meeting or any item, 223-6470. And this is Supervisor Richard Forster. We're going to a break.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.